Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League Season 11, Week 10. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I'm joined by my co-caster Hutcho, and we are in for a exciting top-tier matchup, Mayhem versus Peacekeepers. Hutcho, I want to get your initial sort of impressions on this matchup. There's a lot of hype in the community for this one.
Oh, and that's undoubtedly expected, being the number 1 and number 2 teams in the competition going up against each other this evening. It's going to be a wicked battle for the top spot here tonight. I cannot wait.
Yeah, when we talk about the number 1 and number 2, the way that the VRML works is over the course of a several months season, teams climb up a ladder system. This system is a ranked ladder where if you win, you go up in rank. If you lose, you go down in rank. At the end of the season, teams then compete. The top 8 teams compete for a chance at earning a ever-growing prize pool, and I'm very much looking forward to announcing the prize pool we have lined up for Onward, because it's exciting. There's a lot to be competing for this season, and I'm sure a lot of the teams will be buckling down to compete for that, to get up into those top 8 positions. And I mean, we're looking at Mayhem and Peacekeepers. This is, like you said, 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, exactly right. I'm sure Peacekeepers are looking to get some revenge kills over here at the moment, because the last 2 matchups we've had, they've lost to Mayhem 12-4. So, yeah, Peacekeepers going to be hunting down for some of those points here tonight. They actually picked one of the newer maps to the pool. They've picked Shipyard today, so we'll see what kind of strats they've come up with here.
Yeah, one thing we always like to talk about, because that kind of drum up, is the changes that have happened over the course of Season 10 to 11. We've seen a lot of significant changes to the meta, where new utility items have been excluded and some brought back in. One of the big ones, like you just mentioned, is the custom map addition, and so we've seen what is a rotating map pool on top of custom maps introduced into that map pool. And so new maps being introduced every 6 weeks, and we do that 3 times. So the map pool rotates several times over the course of this season, and it's been adding a ton of variety into the league. There's teams that are afraid of getting into these new maps, and some teams that are using it to their advantage, where they're trying to concoct new strategies because they're still fresh on a map that people maybe still don't fully not understand, but haven't honed in on all of the meta defenses against all of the meta attacks, you know. And it's been so fun to watch, Hutch.
Exactly. It's all about catching them by surprise on these new maps, I feel. Thinking of stuff that hasn't been thought of before, and I'm sure Shipyard is going to be ripe for those kinds of plays today. Peacekeepers, I personally have played against Peacekeepers on this map, and I can tell you, they're one force to be reckoned with. We'll have to see what Mayhem has to counteract that today. But on the other side, Mayhem, man, you just can't stop them, can you? They go hard, they go fast on every single map they play. I love to see it.
Yeah, it's super exciting to watch both of these squads compete. And yeah, I mean, Mayhem has really been locking it in this season. They've been playing very good, very tight gameplay, very coordinated, and their strats they've been rolling out have been fantastic. If you are just tuning in, maybe you're not familiar with the style or how this whole system works, but we have a best of 3, and each team gets a ban. Peacekeepers get the first ban, away team gets the second ban, and then Peacekeepers get the first map pick. And so along those lines, we do have the bans coming in for both squads. Peacekeepers have banned out Subway, and Mayhem have banned out Sand. And it's always interesting to kind of look into why teams have chosen to remove a map from the map pool. And Hutch, I want to get your sort of thoughts on why these maps were banned today.
Yeah, I know. Well, like, there's 2 options you can pick here. You can ban what you're weak at, or you can ban what your opponents are good at. And I think in today's match, Week 10, both teams have decided to pick to ban what each other is very good at, because I know Peacekeepers, they like to take down Mayhem. We saw in the custom map tourney, Peacekeepers were dominating on Sand every time they played, so Mayhem's just scratched that one off the list. You can't pick that one today, sorry boys. And same goes for Mayhem. Mayhem's been dominating on Subway every time they play it. Peacekeepers didn't want to have none of that today. So here we are, neutral grounds. Both best maps have been taken off the list for these teams. They're going to have to come up with something new.
Yeah, I mean, MAYHEM have, to your point, been playing, again, just very consistently, and Subway has been a map they've been excelling at, and Shipyard seems like a good choice coming in from Peacekeepers. I'm excited to see them duke it out. We've got both teams in lobby ready to go, so we should be getting into the action any moment. And coming in for the active rosters for today, on Peacekeepers, we have Nardu, Rushers, Seaquick, Virus, and Captain Soda. And over on MAYHEM, we have Capitano, James Boak, the Sky Joker, Monarchid, and Defilade. No real shifting there. I suppose you can talk about Theta no longer being on that squad, but they have such a deep roster that I don't think it really impacts the MAYHEM team too much.
Yeah, they're really good at doing all of the roles they need to do.
Yeah.
So any one given player could be, you know, they could be the entry fragger, they could be the support player, they could be... All of them are well versed in every single role for that their team needs. They do a lot of great training, and it really shows. It'll be same goes for Peacekeepers. You know, you see Seaquick, you see Rushers, Virus, Soda, and Nardu. They're always playing it out together. Even if they're not in league play, they're in the public lobbies, all stacking the teams and making the making the regular players feel pretty bad sometimes, I will have to say. Thank you very much. But you know, it's training. It's got to be done, and both teams are really good at it. Yeah, I can't think of something necessarily that any one player is bad at from these two teams.
Finally, round one underway. We're diving in to the action. Can't wait to see how this takes off. And frankly, I'm not quite sure what we're going to really get here today. I don't know what the teams are going to bring. And I can assure you it's going to be pretty dang close. It's going to be a great back and forth. And Peacekeepers on offense, MAYHEM on defense. Round number one kicking off, Hutch.
All right, copy.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Well, it looks like we've got MAYHEM sending Sky Joker and Monarchid straight up to get that boat control, along with Defilade and Capitano on the inside. Only leaving one player in James, their captain their co-captain to hold back and defend the objective.
Interesting little hold here coming in from Nardu. It's almost a bit of a head peek. He's got half of that barrier to guard some angle there. Mono has to shoot over that ledge to hit Nardu there. Ooh, and Seaquick's found a little bit of an angle. Mono swings off of those shots, nearly confirms Nardu, and you got Soda up on the roof holding it down. Mono's found himself into a bit of a bad spot as Seaquick tries to drop back.
Oh, that was a nice little drop through the window onto the roof of that truck inside that western warehouse there by Seaquick. And like you said, Nardu's spot on those stairs, almost catching out Monarchid if he didn't push around the corner a bit faster.
Monarchid. Whoa. I like that. We'll go with that.
Sorry, accent alert.
Monarchid down
and
by
Monarchid over here.
Yeah.
See you later, buddy.
A good pickup, though, from Soda, and it really weakens this defense. And as soon as he goes down, the rest of Peacekeepers feel comfortable getting control of the rest of this bow. And as they do that, they thread the needle and get a kill on that stair position. And so now Sky is really their last sort of line of defense here. And he's trying to go up and over with a flash. I think he gets Nardu. And he's not actually going to swing the tight corner. He's going to instead use that flash to relocate and drop back. But the rest of his defense is just getting picked apart. The on-objective defense going down. Sky able to even the odds just a touch, but is it going to be enough?
Yes, I really love what Peacekeepers are doing here. They've got a whole map spread, not letting anyone through on any angle. As you see Seaquick pushing around to the southeast side now, coming in underneath the blue crane in a lethal position here to get behind the last two remaining defenders in Defilade and Sky Joker.
I like the rotation from Defilade. He's dropping back to reinforce Sky here on objective. I'm assuming they've communicated that Defilade has rotated here, but if he hasn't, it's a little bit risky for Sky because... I'm sure, yeah, there's no way Sky's sitting over here without... Yeah, Defilade, I'm sure, is radioed in this position. And so it's a good hold, really. I like the setup.
Oh, Defilade gets taken down by Seaquick, who rotates all the way around over to the eastern warehouse rooftop just to get that extra bit of angle onto the objective space. And it comes out, pays off for him. That map control is super important, as it's all down to Joker now, who gets taken out, and Peacekeepers taking the first round of the series. That first blood, that's got to feel good for Peacekeepers.
Yeah, and I just loved the rollout coming in from them on offense. A really nice, fast, aggressive push up. They work off of that spawn. There's multiple spawns I think you can get even on that side. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like there's a shorter spawn that's closer to the bow that you can get, and it allows you to immediately have control of those stairs, of that top floor if you want it. And as soon as they had that control, there's some great angles to force mono, to stay tucked in. You take control of that roof on the other side. That gives you really nice angles down onto the bow, which Seaquick had. And just a great sort of aggressive but reserved rollout. You know, they're not getting anywhere really out where they're going to get picked. They're just trying to prevent the Mayhem defense from getting comfortable up onto that bow, and it does wonders for them. Opens up the entry, and they execute all the way through for a nice Marsoc win. That's the toughest job of going into your map pick, is that you start on the Marsoc side, and they've already got a point in their pocket.
Yeah, it was an excellent job. Like I mentioned earlier, they just take full map control. You don't see anyone stacking towards the boat. You don't see anyone stacking in the middle warehouse. It's an even spread all the way across the map, and I really like that. It really allows for the poking and prodding of the defense to find out those locations. But not just that, you know, you may expose yourself when you find those locations, but because your team's so spread out, you have options to fire from different angles, just calling it out to your teammates. Very nice attack lines there from Peacekeepers. Let's see if they can do the same thing on the defensive side.
Heard a little hype up from the Peacekeepers there as they roll out, and I'm gonna guess that they're not gonna get as aggressive here at the bow. I don't think they're gonna prioritize swinging out to that front bit. And as I say that, Nardu does take a pretty standard stair position, and he is so fortunate that James doesn't secure those shots. That would have been an awful start for this defense. They would not have good control of this roof position, and
that's definitely a scary spot to take. Those stairs at the start there. Yeah, nasty pre-fire from James Boat. Just unfortunately not connecting.
Seaquick's really out here. Swung pretty deep into these cargo crates and is almost kind of hunting for some early picks. He's trying to find Sky. Just tips off the angle there. Defilade nearly had a headshot on him, but can't quite find it. And Seaquick is able to drop back, and I think Defilade spotted that, because as I tune into the first-person perspective, he's calling it out to his team.
I really like Virus's position here. It's high risk, high reward. You're relatively exposed if, say, from Capitano's position coming around onto the rooftop, but anyone coming around from this south side is going to get caught out by Virus. The only downside to this position, though, he has to jump off those crates and take fall damage to get down. There's no real way to get down safely without hurting yourself here. So it's kind of like a very locked-in position. Interesting to see him taking that.
I mean, these angles are all so tight, and Mayhem is just... I mean, Capitano in particular is barely threading through. He's standing in a triangle of coverage. Soda, Rushers, Seaquick, all looking for him here on the stairs. And if anything, he's done a fantastic job of drawing out the attention and utility of this defense. Virus there throwing a flash. That very well could have given away his position. Definitely it's actually trying to push up off of everyone locked in onto Capitano. Tunnel vision's a real thing in VR.
Ooh. Soda getting the first blood of round 2 there. Beautiful shot.
The center area, there's one on the far east side of the ship, and then there's another one first floor.
The toes of Mono getting chewed up in the head of Defilade, getting burst by a Seaquick on a wide rotation. A huge shutdown of that Mayhem offensive push, and it puts them in a real tough spot with just Sky and James wondering what to do next.
You can see they're very well practiced Peacekeepers on this map. The lines that they're taking, they're just covering all of the angles with minimum exposure. It's beautiful to watch.
Quick in particular there, just finding a couple of great ones. Under the toes there, the headshot, the earlier angle onto Capitano on the stairs, and yeah, now you start to really lose control. The Peacekeepers, feeling confident in their kill count, send Nardu out to find a completely exposed back end there. Seaquick's getting himself a little aggressive as well. James is not long for this world as this team starts to really kind of surround him.
Yeah, James has really got a tall task ahead of him in a 1v5 here. Not quite sure how he's going to pull away from this one alive.
Yeah, he's not. That's
Nardu raining hell from above.
Yeah, map 1 into the hands of Peacekeepers strongly now. 2-0 lead in their favor, and it's their map choice, so it's always something we got to keep fresh in our mind, Hutch. This is why they're looking so crisp here, because they obviously are feeling comfortable and confident in their, and to your point, they're really nice angles that they have drawn up here on this map. And it's what I talk about the most with these custom maps is that ability to sort of capitalize on unknown angles, unknown lines. I think that one Seaquick had way down in the tunnel, certainly not unknown, not in tunnel, but the garage, certainly not unknown, but a nice one that does pay dividends in the long run as he swings over to catch the toes underneath the truck. It's angles like that where you know you have that advantage unless the opponent's prone that are always good to be taking up, and it's what you see the most on defense. And so a 2-0 lead's nice, but Mayhem is not a team that you can feel confident with a 2-0 lead on. It's not quite enough.
Not. No, you can definitely feel the intimate map knowledge that Peacekeepers have with those defensive angles and the offensive lines that they were taking. But one objective to the next can be a vastly different game depending on how much practice each team has actually put in. So I'd like to see Mayhem here defend really strongly on this Western Warehouse objective. There's lots of nice little hidey holes inside the warehouse itself. I'm not sure if they're going to opt for an aggressive, say, middle warehouse defense, like defend them before they can get to the objective, or if they're going to hang back, watch the rear entrances, watch the flanks, watch the rooftop, and hold in. We're about to find out, though, as we jump in to round number 3.
At the very top.
Now, after round 1, if you had predictions come up and you could determine, you could predict who you think would win, would you have said Peacekeepers? Round 2 looked good. I certainly would feel comfortable in a Peacekeepers pick right about now, but I'm still kind of waiting for Mayhem to get loose almost, it feels like.
That's right. I feel like they're just warming up. We haven't seen the last of Mayhem just yet. We're only getting started here, folks. So don't be afraid to put those points down on your Mayhemian God team that we have this evening.
Might be too late for that that encouragement. There are some folks still out there with the faith in Mayhem, and maybe it's looking a little bit misplaced as Soda kicks off another solid round for Peacekeepers. Surprised that they would expose themselves to that angle there. It's a pretty common one for Soda to take up, but either way, Nardu also going down. Deflade with that really early aggressive spot underneath the ramp.
Oh, this could be dangerous here. Deflade.
Oh!
Oh! Oh, so close, man. Just need cooked through it a little bit raw there. Deflade nearly threw that nice frag straight up onto Russia's position. Seaquick hunting for that thrower.
And he's dropped back off of the enemy's smoke. James has found one underneath. Rushers is going to push in. And Defilade seems to be caught off guard. Maybe not ready for that. Maybe going for a tablet check. But either way, it's a nice little weakening of the defense here from Rushers. And you can hear the comms coming in from Mayhem. They are very concerned about this defense.
Yes, Rush is playing the sabotage angle now. Slowly creeping around the north side of this western building. Spots James out, trades some shots. No one connects though. Man, Skyjoker's hiding under that garage pretty well too. The smoke comes out to block that line of sight though. man, these guys know what they're doing here. Menorchid taking some
My buddy
shots
on
to
a
the
zero.
face there. That's unfortunate for him. And Mayhem in a 2v2 now with Rush's Captain Soda, James, and Sky Joker, the last players of this round. This is about to get spicy.
I'm surprised how successful Sky was in that position. I suppose that maybe they're confident in their smoke application, but Sky was able to still take those shots underneath that little gap in the doorway. It's a common spot that has been taken pretty frequently, but he's since then tucked in and trying to enter with plenty of time. 320. They don't need to force this yet.
No, not yet. There's still plenty of time. That's right. This map, it can be a large map. It can be a small map. Oh my goodness. That was that was some killer shots there, catching James as he was throwing the nade. But yeah, it can be a large map. It can be a short map, depending on how you defend it. Really, if you're gonna defend up, push forward and defend, you're gonna make those Marsoc players have to look on every single angle on the way to objective. But if you're going to play defensive, like back on the objective, and the Marsoc players catch wind of that, they're going to push forward faster and faster and just have a plethora of time left to assault the objective with, as we saw Peacekeepers doing just there, catching, I think they caught 3 players inside the objective then, and 2 outside. So once again, another very strong offense from Peacekeepers. Mayhem, though, they did hang on till the final couple of kills there. It was very close.
The gap there in that garage door works both ways. It's certainly effective to shoot out of, but they countered it. He went prone, and you know, it's a risky prone to go because you're really in the middle, you're fully exposed to being shot, but you're able to catch those angles underneath the shed, and it ultimately led to that last kill onto the back of James there at the back of the garage. And yeah, now they have to attack this same objective, and Mayhem, they need this one. The last thing you want is a 4-0 loss on map 1 at this. I mean, so rare to see a map sweep come through, and if Peacekeepers can lock this in, I mean, that's fantastic momentum for Peacekeepers.
Yeah, momentum does play a big part too, doesn't it? Like, you just get that confidence behind you, and with that confidence, with that focused confidence, I will say, you can't be pushing in willy-nilly, but with focused confidence comes great results, I've found. So
I already have a nid.
Peacekeepers really soaking that in right now.
Curious to see this defensive rollout coming in from Peacekeepers, and pretty standard so far. Nardu saying, please don't kill me, as he pushes up to this position, and oh, I like it. It's an interesting one at that. Certainly not one that you would check, and just barely exposing over the top of that door. He's got to worry about Sky, and it does seem like he's identified him and taken him down.
That was a beautiful shot.
That was far right.
Yeah, they're also opting for that very defensive setup there. The passive defense let them come to you, but now that Nardu's got that pick, he pushes a little bit further forward into a great crossfire position that watches the bow of the ship.
The south side, he might have turned back though.
Oh, we can hear the comms coming in there from Mono, and now as Cappy goes down, more information that Mono relays out to his team. But yeah, Nardu has continued to apply pressure off of success here. He almost naded James on the corner. He's continuing to apply aggression that James seems to be somewhat wary of, but Nardu hears those footsteps, and he's going to have the drop shot on him.
Oh, he executes James. That is nasty. Golly, see what that little bit of aggressiveness can bring. You get one kill, get yourself the lead in the play account, send someone forward to start flanking around, and you can do a lot of damage. Unfortunately for Nardu, getting caught out by Deflate and refragged, but the damage has already been done. It's 4 versus 2.
And you know, Mayhem really investing a lot of effort into taking control of this side of the map. Deflate now has confirmed that no one else is around here, that they're not being flanked any longer. He's going to try and smoke out. Oh, that's a perfect smoke. You can't ask for a better smoke because that smoke applied there to deny vision from that crack we were talking about. Mono evens the odds a bit, and now you're seeing Cappy put rounds downrange because he can't see Defilade cross. He's just putting rounds through the smoke, and Mono's trying to work off of that. Virus has to drop back, and just a great smoke allows Defilade to make this cross.
Yeah, they're slowly bringing it back here. It's a 2v3 now. Virus is looking pretty panicked after he had to push off of that garage door position with that beautiful smoke from Defilade. Now just jiggling around the boxes inside. Rushers posted up outside though. Can hear Monorchid calling out the positions.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Defilade didn't make the cross when he had that smoke. I think he wanted Mono to get that in front of the garage door, but he doesn't. And Virus now has relocated to a nice angle. Defilade's fortunate enough. He's able to cross out. I think he gets tagged, so he has to heal, but a little aggression here from rushers.
Yeah, Rushers in that ambush spot. Oh, that was a beautiful peek from Defilade, man. He was expecting it, and he caught him out right at the right time. Rushers just got there, had his gun down, was about to check his tablet, I feel, and gets taken out by Defilade. 2 versus 2 now. They're bringing it back. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. They're just waiting for Peacekeepers to expose himself one more time.
Defilade here on the hunt for something in that back of the garage, but they've sort of tucked in just a touch. Seaquick's now holding that back, worried about a potential basement entry, which can be pretty effective, gets you right behind this defense. And so Seaquick's a little bit wary of it.
Sorry, that's something that they Peacekeepers used against myself in a scrim that we had not too long ago. They used the basement flank on us, offense and defense. We weren't ready for it because we just didn't think it was a useful tool to have in your kit. But they have proven it very effective to go through that basement tunnel and come out behind the offense or defense when they're not expecting it.
Ooh, and I'm actually on board Mono here as he drops back. Starts to take the approach from the basement. He's going to try and make it out. The question is will it be covered at the time that he exits? There's a little bit of a rotating defense there coming in from Seaquick that periodically covers the basement entry, but not all the time. And so maybe an opportunity for Mono to get out here.
That's right. He is running out of time, though. It's a long rotation under there, and with 60 seconds left on the clock, he's got to make it happen. The timing, though. Seaquick's rotational timing. It was caught him right at the right time. Peacekeepers taking map 1 4-0. That was unexpected. We got to see what Mayhem picks as their map pick here to bring it back. They've got a lot of work to do, a lot of momentum to break down 4 unanswered rounds here, back to back to back. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it looks like they didn't have too much fun in the close quarters combat there, so they've opted to get a little bit of distance between them and Peacekeepers. They head for map number 2 to Downfall. And what is the... I mean, I'm sure it'll take you some time to pull up, but... Hutch, what are the stats for Downfall here with Peacekeepers and Mayhem?
Peacekeepers Mayhem, alright. So we've got... They've played it once since Season 5. And the stats on that one time played was Mayhem won 4 rounds to 0. So they've got 100 Mayhem here, 100% win rate against Peacekeepers on Downfall.
Wow.
They've played it one time in the last 5-6 seasons. So, you know, both teams...
Well, they played it against each other in the last 6 seasons. Yeah, I'm sure Mayhem have...
That's right.
You know,
sorry. Yeah, against each other. Yep. Otherwise, Peacekeepers have a 50% round win rate on Downfall to Mayhem's 57%. So relatively the same amount. Mayhem, though, playing 260 rounds to Peacekeepers 86.
Yeah, maybe trying to go with that comfortability factor. Downfall is a map that has been impacted by some adjustments. You know, some new objectives, some new spawns really do change a lot of what you're allowed to do on this map before you can get picked off or before you're in an exposed position. And so I'm very curious to see if Mayhem are going to try and utilize maybe some of these newer objectives and newer spawns to their advantage. And I mean, I guess to that point, the first objective is a new objective. You have to wait until we get into that matchup before you can take a look, as we still do wait for the teams to populate their lobbies. We are seeing some shifts in the roster from Mayhem, which I think is interesting and probably warranted after, I mean, Shipyard down 4-0. That is tough at a matchup like this.
Yeah, that's right. Are they switching out this? They're either taking out Joker or who was their other player that they had at the start? Was it Wookiee? Potato Bot's jumping in for Mayhem, though.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to bring in another sub. And, you know, I mentioned it earlier, maybe that departure of Theta is impacting this team a little bit more than I anticipated, because that certainly was a rough couple of rounds coming in from Mayhem there, and I'm not counting them out yet. They're a team that is certainly, like I said, they have a packed roster. It's not one player that makes the Mayhem team, that's for sure. And I'm very interested to see if they'll be able to regroup here with maybe a bit of a roster adjustment, sort of come back a little bit stronger at the least. Maybe getting some point. Step one is to get points on the board, I suppose, at this point, right, Hutch?
That's right, that's right. And like you say, they definitely did. It was a very analytical point of view when Theta made his decision to leave. But that's right, get points on the board here. They're starting on offense. They've got a very aggressive objective that they can come up against here, as opposed to some other objectives that would be a tad easier to defend. But I'm sure they can make it work. Mayhem, one of the best at communication,
yeah,
and pinpointing enemy positions, especially on Downfall, as we've seen in the past. So, I don't know. Some people think Downfall is a very trade-heavy map. You know, it's won on Volk rounds, but it's really. I want to see some new attack styles come in here. I want to see some fancy new smokes, some bait and switch plays. I'm sure Mayhem has it up their sleeve. And yeah.
I think one thing that I've seen sort of develop as a meta for defensive styles, one that I've encouraged, frankly, is the tight kill box around objectives on Mayhem. And while that has its strengths and is certainly a powerful defensive setup, it also has its weaknesses, and one of those major weaknesses is a well-applied smoke. To your point, an M203 smoke, maybe launched at a door, or a well-applied smoke as you creep up closer to a standard position. It goes a long ways on those kill box setups because it shuts down positions, and ultimately makes it much more difficult for those positions to be effective. And so, curious to see how this defense works for Peacekeepers, and already I do see the probably the biggest weak point, that the entryway into this building is free in the open. Rushers is watching through the door or the window there, but if whatever utility he puts through that window is not successful in killing his target, he has no way of getting that kill through the wall.
Yeah, it's a very long rotate around the building to get in there to try and re-aggress. Yeah. Recontrol that part of the building. An easy amount of time for a cap to come through there. So be very interesting to see if Mayhem can spot that out as they start this round by their signature map control. They're going to try and surround this objective as fast as possible.
Yeah, see him now sort of getting that spread out. 3 in the north, an uncharacteristic stack to the north side. Typically you see the 3-2 split favor the south entry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
That is not the case.
Coming all the way up to the top of the hill here in the southeast.
He doesn't even have increased sight either. He's got a red dot on that gun. I don't know what he's going to see from back here, but...
You'd want to be wearing really thick glasses. He's there to support Wookiee, who's now pushing through the South Valley. He's got a while before he's going to come into contact with anyone. Possibly Seaquick going to be the first person to spot him out from the Kilo 2-story basement.
Crater.
Yeah, they're going to take control of South. Have a good overwatch down into that 3-story building, just in case anyone takes up rooftop control, which is effective in defending here. And eventually that push will come through. The timing will, of course, line up with probably some smokes or some sort of suppressive fire from the north, and see if Mayhem sync up as they need to with this split for it to be successful, because Peacekeepers, they've got that kill box defense. When we fly over, you can see they are nicely tight and packed around that entry to around that Blackhawk. They've got Seaquick watching that north flank, which I do like, a strong position. Also watching the tower. Rushers, I still don't know how effective this position will be, but an interesting one, and I understand its merits. Nardu there, and
Wait, Paris, can you hear me talking?
He's got that southwest road covered, doesn't he, Nardu?
Yeah, he does.
It's a default, very default position. But as we talk about that, Seaquick drawing first blood.
Mono?
Called it earlier, he's going to have that first line of sight onto those southern players, and
I don't know
takes
where
down
Mono got shot
Menorcad.
from, but
Wookiee unable to respond.
Yeah, I think this is one of like the real
that's one down for me.
clear examples of the benefit of that silencer. He didn't know where those shots were coming from. You heard on the back in the south side. I don't know where those shots are coming from. He doesn't see the muzzle flash. He doesn't see or hear the G36 loud and clear out that window. And Seaquick's position still very strong. He's rotated back off of that window after getting that pick back to cover this north entryway. And if Seaquick goes down, I think that's when things can start going bad for Peacekeepers. If the attack is successful from this north side, Rushers is super exposed, and then they don't really have much of a defense in the north.
Yeah, that's right. I was about to say James is doing a beautiful rotation out here to the north side, and Rushers is in grave danger. James is just one little corner away from spotting him out here.
Rusher's really not looking there either. He's not checking the tower because that's supposed to be covered by Seaquick, and soon enough he is going to be thoroughly exposed from that window angle.
Yeah, this is about to go bad for Peacekeepers. All of a sudden they've taken down Rushers. The north side's completely exposed now. Seaquick knows Potato Bot's position. I'm sure Potato is going to be aware of that very default position from Seaquick as well. Definitely coming through to help.
Yeah, I was in first person there as he radioed it in to James of that basement position. So now James applying the pressure there to that basement spot, and it's requiring everyone's attention here to deny Potato.
Oh, it's about to get nasty. Virus and Soda both facing to the north now, allowing Wookiee to come straight up from behind uncontested. There's no one on objective here. This is about to get really intense, really fast. Smokes beautiful from Potato Bot. Wookiee taking down that kill. Virus is in grave danger here. If they have an accurate kill count, this is an easy cap. Virus has so far to run now.
Yeah, if anything, he's trying to make himself known, taking those shots to the back there. It's a good charge that he's making. The flash up and over, pretty smart. Maybe he'll be actually able to get a couple of kills here as he pushes in through the smoke. James there finds an open angle. Down goes Virus, and Mayhem play it well and take a Marsoc 1-0 on their map pick. Are we getting the reverse 4-0 sweep here?
Yes. This is going to be a really tough one. Mayhem on Downfall, I like to think of them as the boa constrictor. They just surround and tighten, and it works really, really well, as we see there. They find the weakness, which was Rushes in the open to the north. They take out that first blood. They finish off the reaction kills coming in from the refrag attempts from Peacekeepers. And then that draws all the attention to the north side, allowing the final south player in Wookiee to surprise them. Hey, I'm still here, guys. Don't forget about me. And all of a sudden, it's a 1v4.
Whew. off to the races with this series right now. I was feeling a little bit concerned, honestly, for Mayhem. They just hadn't been in sync, and that push looked very nice. I liked the plays they put out, the good rotation from James, the good callouts, the good identification of enemies. Just a solid job there from Mayhem to crash up there and get those picks that they did.
It was very, very nice to watch. Mayhem breaking that 4-0 streak right there, putting their first round on the board, gaining the momentum for downfall. Now they've just got to defend. Nice tight defense. And we're about to see what they come up with right now as we head into round number 2.
You really gotta take control of this objective building. It's so dangerous. They're so lucky that no one pushed. They're so lucky the captain come through. We've seen it happen, I think, I've seen it happen 2 out of the 4 times I've seen this objective. So that last round was a rare chance that it didn't happen, and still we're not seeing it. I mean, really not much investment at all from Mayhem into defending that entry.
Yeah, that's right. They've got slight alterations to the Peacekeepers setup, having 2 people in that Hilo 2-story building. And just 1 in Wookiee, the center hotel there. But also Defilade, very far off objective in the North Brothel Darkroom. It's going to be a tough rotate to get back there. I mean, he is not exposed to the north as his counterpart in Rushes was, but it is a little bit further away. He does spot out one though. He's got his eyes trained on Rushes.
A nice 12
Defilade
times.
is deadly with those snipers.
I got one
Yeah.
going towards the sniper building. He's in
One of the
that
reasons they
crevice
chose this
south of
map to
sniper
get
building.
the range, to get a little advantage. He's radioed in that position as well, so his team also aware. And you see another laser there, very faintly, also looking up over towards that exact same position. And yeah, Rusher is certainly not long for the world if he decides to peek
Sorry,
up
not
and look
south,
for
just north of
anything.
the sniper building.
A very dooming location for Rushes right there. He's got no safe rotate out. If he goes around the south side of the building, he's going to get caught out on the on the west. If he tries to go dip back down into the valley, he's exposing himself to Defilade again. He's just got to sit tight for a while and hope that they forget about him, I think.
If anything, Virus did a good job of drawing one of those lines away from Rushers. Suppressive fire there on the cross. And now, if anything, Rushers is drawing some good eyes. Oh, the shots just grazing Rushers there. Maybe not. It's, you know, we see a little bit, look, sometimes it's differently than what's actually happening in game, courtesy of the spectator functionality. But shots that most likely just missed, and very fortunate enough for Rushers there that he doesn't go down from a headshot there from that SKS. Now the suppressive fire there to tuck Defilade back in. Soda and Virus are going to try and work their way up, tandem up through the center, while Nardu and the rest of the team swing around from the south, or the north, excuse me.
Nardu frags out through the window, not going to catch James out, but will alert them to his presence.
And like any good push, we're going to have to split our attention here.
Who's
Opposite
this
sides
all
of
the way
map.
up the northwest? Seaquick going for a huge flank. This is a power position if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and really it's giving Peacekeepers strong command of the upper half. They have Rushers there in that high position. Defilade really not becoming too terribly effective where he is. Wookiee downs Virus with the C4. The push comes in, though, from Soda. He's able to find that refrag. I think he has another one to deal with inside this building, though. No, he doesn't. He's fully cleared it out.
Lost one center. One down.
It's a waiting game now.
One's on
Nardu.
point.
Oh, Captain Soda though, and Nardu at the same time. Clear out that North Hilo 2-story building. The north side's wide open. Defilade has to move.
He like gets team killed as he makes his entry in. There's a huge pickup. An absolutely massive pickup from Defilade. 2:16 left. Mono is now also hunting for any sort of picks on the outside. Seaquick could potentially find Mono here in short work, but it's only 2 minutes left, so a lot of time that they have to defend yet.
Seaquick hearing that 12 times SKS popping off here. He's going to wait. just going to wait and hold to try and catch Defilade off guard. Or even Menorca. Oh, Defilade is aware of the position now.
One on me, one on me,
Anything could happen at this point in time right now. It's a 2v3.
He's behind you.
Mono is battling two fronts right now, trying to deny C-Quick entry, and Defilade on the support catches out Rushers, a massive pickup. The problem is Soda. Soda could go unnoticed. C-Quick finds one. Defilade's going to be looking for that next one.
If they have an accurate kill count now, Soda's just got a clear push straight into the objective. Oh, but Defilade gets the kill on C-Quick. It's a 1v1. Soda making his way to the objective. He's not going to go for that eastern doorway, though. He's pushing around.
Shocked that he goes for that swing there, and a gift to Mayhem. All he had to do was enter in that door and punch the code behind a solid concrete wall. He had all the time in the world to do it, but decides to go for the kill. And, you know, when the pressure's on, it's always hard to predict the mindset and the plays of a player, because it's hard to think through all of these scenarios in your head when you're making plays like that.
That's right. This is, like I was saying earlier, this is a hard objective to defend as opposed to others, but seriously, God, that should have gone so different there for both teams, both having a wide open eastern doorway cap spot at the end of each round. Oh man, this is a crazy map. This is a crazy map. Anything can happen here, and the next objective is going to be another one of those that's difficult to defend in the lower south dumpster building. God, this is going to be intense. I can't believe we just saw two offensive rounds traded on a downfall map. It's so uncommon.
Waiting for the predictions to come in here for this second map, and I gotta wonder where people are headed after that first round. Maybe a little bit more faith in the Mayhem squad, but either way, solid bit of back and forth, like you said, and I guess this is what I more expected out of Shipyard, a bit more of a even trading of rounds of competitive Marsoc pushes, but it really was Peacekeepers map, and go to a new, well, a old OBJ with a old spawn, and they are well aware of each other's positions.
I think I just saw Nadu waving at Mayhem just now.
Yeah, they maybe Mayhem welcoming the aggression from Peacekeepers, but something that maybe you're not familiar with. If you know the spawn, there's multiple spawns per objective. You can really work off of that information and apply some pressure. PotatoBot reversing that pressure, finding a kill off of a pretty common position there, but out the gate.
You get hit?
An early drop.
Definitely a revivable position though for Rushers. He's only downed in that objective building, though the rotate's going to be exposed to try and get back there.
I don't know if they're going to get Rushers, simply because the defense that they have chosen is very forward. It's very pushed up. They acted off of that spawn that they saw, and C-Quick and whoever else is up in this three-story virus have they cannot rotate. Neither can Nardu, as he's tucked up behind the dumpster, and it's going to come down to Soda, I suppose, dropping off of his defensive angle, opening up a position that doesn't get utilized. Fortunately enough for them, Mayhem wasn't pushing in from that far east side, and I guess you could act confidently off of that information, knowing where they spawn. So a good rotation there from Soda to even the odds a little bit for Peacekeepers, or get them back into their favor 5-4.
That's right, here comes the tail of the Constrictor and James Boak, pushing the Marsoc buildings to the southeast, going to get a new angle onto this defense that they're probably not going to be expecting at this time.
No, don't shoot. Hang on. Got him. Got the one by dumpster.
Ooh, that was a nice shot there by Potato.
He just had a laser go right over him too, so fortunate enough that he doesn't get his head popped by the likes of rushers yet, but they're also very much dialed into that window position, so rushers can't really afford to peek out there. Virus probably next up on the chopping block. Oh, a flash. No, that's a nade coming out and over. That could have been really effective if it was just into that corner, but didn't quite go where it needs to go. Virus able to get some justice, but information to work with.
It's a strong defense. Having that center hotel really prevents the aggression from that northwest spawn.
What happened, Beatrice?
This is why you hold your fucking off angle. Stop peeking him.
What's the problem, brother?
He legit walked into my sights.
Virus playing a diligent defense, dialed in to their flank positions, and you know, being diligent on your hold is good, but at the same time, tunnel vision does open up moves like this from Potato as he is able to cross out. Now get right up close to make an entry into this 3-story.
Yeah, Potato's got a tough job ahead of him. There's a lot of rooms inside of this building, but he makes some tight work of it. Gets the refrag though, Virus does, coming flanking around the corner as soon as he hears the gunshots popping off, taking down his teammate. That's very good team play right there by Virus to respond to that aggression from Potato Bot.
Yeah, a great refrag angle there picked up from Virus. He drops off, recognizing that rotation early as well. He knew it was coming, and so as soon as he heard that trade favoring the enemy, he drops down to find a pretty easy kill and keeps things in Peacekeepers' favor, but just barely. 1 for 1 we have gone, and now Mayhem trying to make something work with the two of them, but not quite sure if Wookie is really in position yet.
Is he still in middle hotel? Oh, it sounds like it.
Wookie throwing down some cover fire for James to cross around to the south side here. James just threaded the needle between
Wait, was that you,
Captain
Soda?
Soda and Rush's points of view.
Yeah, one White House Hill.
Rush is in danger here if he doesn't suspect James's location. But he does. Throwing some fire down.
Yeah, Virus had ID'd the cross there, radioed that information in, and the key element in this game is having solid comms. There's a standard James nade, almost perfectly tossed. I think he wanted it on that ledge, but he doesn't quite get it there. It does deny vision into the door. Soda is up next on the chopping block as Virus realizes the weakness of his position here. If he's not able to defend the back here from James, there's a potential cap opportunity. He really needs support from Wookie here to deny Virus that ability, and a great smoke comes in onto Soda.
Yeah, Wookie really needs to start moving now. There's only 45 seconds left on the clock. Wookie's still very far away from objective, unable to help his teammate in James as he gets gunned down by the Western Road defense.
That was a great rotation from Virus. It's going to pay dividends onto Wookie. There's a wall there for Wookie to tuck behind, but not for a lot of time left here. 30 seconds on the clock. He has to push out, and Virus gets an easy pickup and puts Peacekeepers up 2-1. That was a solid defensive round.
Very strong today, aren't they? They turned up to play. Ain't no playing around today.
No kidding, they are locked in. Comms are on point. They're acting efficiently off of that information that they're being radioed in, and a huge rotation. I mean, really just a good round from Virus there. Good solid hold on that flanking angle. He then catches the refrag inside 3-story to hold that 3-story for them. They lose control of that defending that objective becomes so much harder. Suppressive fire rains down on the Soda, and there's all kinds of different threats that they have to be present of. Instead, he takes control of it, and then the presence to drop back. He got 4 kills that round. So yeah, that round ended up going heavily into Virus's hands and doing a lot of work to lock in a lead for Peacekeepers here now. 2 points in a row.
Yeah, that little rotation from the center hotel back to that little half wall on the Western Road was beautiful. understanding that there was no more aggression coming from that northwest corner. He was exposing his back to that side, but it was all in a collective and calculated movement. It was beautiful to see, covering the east and the south approach at the same time with one rotation. It was beautiful.
And you know, now we go back to swapping Volk rounds. Peacekeepers managing to right the wrongs and then some of their early round 1 loss, and this isn't looking like Mayhem's map just yet. It is their pick, but curious to see what this defense looks like. A perfect example of differing spawns, complete opposite sides of the map coming in for Peacekeepers, and very differing round, a bit of setup we should see here from these teams.
We've had another substitution. Sky Joker's come in to replace Mono Orchid.
Who was in last round?
Oh! Gets taken down instantly by rushes on top of the hill. Captain Soda going to be taking that defensive position off of his hands just like that.
I think it was Potato Bot that swapped out for Mono. I'm pretty sure Sky was in last map as well. I just think they did one sub.
Yeah, he's on the stairs going to the 3rd floor.
So I'm wrong on that. Who knows?
James and Captain Soda. Oh my goodness. That was nasty there. Captain Soda wanted James so bad, he pushed straight into his barrel. Almost ate it.
One on far south hill. By the lone bull.
No, I'm pretty sure Mono was in downfall actually, because we saw him at the top of the southeast hill with no sights on.
Right, and Potato swapped out for him. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Fair, fair.
We'll see if Potato can catch out the high angle. Getting picked up there by Peacekeepers. You see he's dialed into that high hill, and it does open up the low angle for Nardu, and he's going to cross underneath the shots of Potato Bot. James is going to be challenged a second time here today.
Yep, Nardu on his tail with Virus ready to pop out and take some shots if needed.
Hi, James.
Such a lethal position for James, only exposing just the tip of his head and his shoulder there.
One of the beautiful things about this game is the proximity comms. And you can hear James and Nardu both communicating, trying to distract James from Virus's rotation, but Potato Bot was diligent on holding it and shuts down that chance. And now Nardu and Seaquick are left in a 2v4, and it's a pretty tight hold right now for Mayhem.
Yeah, this is the defense that we're expected to see from Mayhem here. Knowing exactly the angles they need to hold, what they're responsible for. Picking them off one by one.
Tries to find that window shot. That's what Nardu was on the hunt for that whole time. And Potato's fortunate enough that it doesn't find much purchase. He just has to stay tucked in. No need to peek this. Nardu's going to have to challenge James, and when that challenge comes in, that's when Potato can swing. Seaquick and Nardu both try to sync up, and they do, but in death, as Mayhem tie this up 2 apiece.
Yep, you can put those guys in the same grave, and time of death stamped exactly the same time there. Great defense from Mayhem that round. Sky Joker unfortunately copping a bullet to the face in the first 5 seconds. He will not be happy with that.
Yeah, early death.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, a nice kill box hold there from Mayhem. A good bounce back off of that round loss. 2 in a row, actually, and now we go to another new objective. This one I've seen a variety of defensive setups, and there truly is a good handful, maybe even a dozen different ways you can defend this objective. And I do want to see how Peacekeepers decide to set up. I think the standard setup is pretty spread, actually. One of the few objectives I almost don't recommend a tight kill box on, simply because there's so much open ground leading up to the objective that you can cover much wider angles from much safer positions than being right on top of objective.
Yeah, I'd say the hardest part about this objective is just getting to those defensive positions.
Yeah.
You've got to be scared of that quick spawn down to the south. They can approach that south hilltop very fast and use that open space against you before you get to your position, and it's very tough to deal with if that is the case.
Yeah, it's much like the west spawn in Quarantine, very devastating if not prepared for, and I've seen teams lose 3 or 4 people as they are all pushing out to their defensive positions. So yeah, certainly to your point, it's a big risk that you take if you do go out for some of these setups, but again, I want to see what they look like. How are they going to clear? What is that Peacekeepers defense gonna be? Are they gonna set up on that far back ridge? I've seen that from beginners. You can position almost out of the map. You're nearly at the barrier of the map with some of these positions you can take that are still pretty effective at defending the objective. And so I don't know. Again, we'll see what the spawn is. It's not going to be the quick spawn to the south, and so
no. Peacekeepers very lucky about that. But it's just the way, though. It's just the way that one team gets lucky with the spawns and the other team doesn't. So you can see Peacekeepers throwing out smokes to try and defend from that straight off the bat, just to try and get in position. Whether those smokes will be effective or not is another story. I think they're too low on the map to, if someone was on top of that hilltop, to have any effect, really. But you've just got to hope and pray sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, it's well, I guess in some players' cases, you really just gotta be exact with it. I think some of these guys really have mastered the art of throwing a nade right where they need to, and others have not. To your point, it's a difficult skill to really master, and those smokes to your not even needed because of the slow spawn, but they were. It's good to see them cognizant of that threat, very aware of it. The cover over the tank, and ultimately Virus now in a very powerful position with the rest of his team ready for this push.
Knocked third floor hotel,
Rushes taking an angle onto that northern hotel, spotting James out as he comes up the stairs to attempt to get to the roof. Potato now going to try and take the same angle to get up there and get the res, but Rushes turns away at just that moment. Revive comes out.
Yeah, they just picked him up
and the recognition there that the res comes through does even that is a call out that comes in, and now James with his drum mag and his rifle is taking up for a suppressive fire position in the rooftop onto a couple of different spots that they do have over in the north, and no real position here, and unknown, I would say. I think Mayhem well aware of where Peacekeepers are right now, all pretty standard setups, but this is the power spread of this objective that really works well. Seaquick over here has control of this north side. He'll be able to shut down Potato Bot when that challenge comes.
That's
James,
right. It's very interesting for me seeing
upstairs.
Mayhem all stacked into the northwest corners at the moment. No one pushing the south at all. So that's very unexpected. I'm sure Peacekeepers will definitely be expecting some kind of South Valley push. Perhaps they're counter-stratting. They're going to think I'm doing this, but I'm going to do this. We'll see what happens here, but Seaquick and Potato, I think they're very aware of each other's positions in this north villa right now.
Oh, and as soon as Potato moves off, multiple angles covering the opposite side there. The wrong choice made on the push, but great job from Peacekeepers to be aware. And the communication that we're hearing on Mayhem's side is mimicked with Peacekeepers. They are also communicating everyone's defensive positions that they are identifying. Seaquick gets another down. Mayhem getting picked apart here.
Yeah. This is very strong defense from Peacekeepers now. It's a 5 vs 3 in this situation here. James is left on the roof with his 2 teammates in the center bungalow. Defilade, though, taking a very nice shot, taking down one of the defenders.
Yeah, I read in chat, is that iron sights? It sure is. Some players prefer the iron sights of these rifles, and Defilade here dialed in to that virus position up in that 3-story tower. It's effective, but at the same time, you're incredibly exposed when you do peek these windows, and so Virus is tucked in to a bit of a tighter angle.
I'm sure Virus is definitely aware of how endangered he is up there. There's windows on all sides of the building. Waiting for the offense to expose himself, just like Sky Joker did just now.
Bungalow.
Rush is
One
cleaning
hotel.
up another Mayhem player.
Yeah, a good solid bit of shooting from rushers there. Virus does peek out as Defilade drops off of his hold on the window, and now it's just James left alive in a 1v4.
And his position is known as well. This is going to be a very tough task for James to pull anything off with 1 minute 25 seconds remaining on the clock. Oh.
Wow. ID'd him, but didn't take those shots. Unfortunate there that he doesn't take those initial ones, but the re-peek certainly not a risky choice that James effectively capitalizes on. And now Virus putting down some suppressive rounds through his tower position has James' attention.
Is Rushers going to go around and try and get the revive on Seaquick here? I think he is. He's trying to get around, take the safe route to get there. Just further advance their percentage of winning here, keeping all 4 players up. But doing so does leave room for James to collapse into.
Tries to cross out.
Doesn't last for long, though.
Yeah, solid angle there from Soda. Peacekeepers had the right setup, and that's how you defend that objective to a T. I really don't know the proper sort of response there to that defense. I don't know how you root them out. I think maybe you worked the north down, but that is also a chore in and of itself, simply because of the power of those defensive positions there. That 2-story out the window is hard to uproot sometimes, and Peacekeepers with that solid spread and the awareness to be cognizant of that quick spawn and not get picked up from it, it gets them comfortable and they hold well. Now we see if Peacekeepers get that quick spawn, that could certainly be something that I'm sure they're ready to utilize and act off of.
That's right. I'm just really surprised that Mayhem sent nobody to the south then. I think the south approach, you see they have 3 players dead in the center bungalow. I'm sure the south approach could have helped pinpoint Virus's location in that Marsok tower, put another angle he had to worry about, maybe exposing himself to one of the 2 angles while trying to fight. I just think things could have gone a lot different there, and it's very uncharacteristic of Mayhem to not surround the objective as usual.
Yeah. Curious to not see that spread, or at least a 3-2 split. It was an odd grouping when you look at it, but I guess they wanted to focus their to my point, they were trying to focus their push up into the north side of the map, and didn't really work out for them. The similar spawn coming in for Peacekeepers, so no early aggression will come through, and interested to see what the Mayhem defensive setup looks like.
We gotta go south.
Yeah.
Even the Mayhem got a different spawn here too, compared to Peacekeepers on defense, spawning further to the north than Peacekeepers did. So having a relatively safer cross from that quick spawn south position that they had to be aware of. So
I'm looking
Potato Bot here.
Look at the timing. It's going to
Oh,
match
no.
up pretty well. Defilade and Sky are pushing up here to this sledge. They'll be having a battle soon enough with both Virus and Soda, who have tried to get counter-aggress up onto this hill. Defilade and Soda trading down for down, and Soda will be able to be rezzed by Virus here. Defilade needs to call out for Sky to come reinforce.
There was one more on the North Marsoc building.
Yeah, Defilade really needs Sky Joker to help
No, there's one
react
more
here,
left.
but it's
Definitely
too late.
floor then. First or second floor.
Soda gets picked up. It's just a straight up pick kill here on the south for Peacekeepers, and it's already a 3v2, sorry, a 3v5 in Peacekeepers' favor.
Yeah, we're gonna need that Marsoc basement.
Not optimal, and they know they have to clear out this basement here. Sky's tucked in pretty deep too. He's gonna really wait for this Virus and Soda duo. The C4 detonates. Somehow that doesn't catch Virus. Virus. Wow. Fast enough to tuck in, and now I think Virus a little bit more wary that someone's down here and starts to pre-fire the corners. Sky tries to come out, but he runs into a rain of fire, and this is looking good for Peacekeepers. 4-2. The south side completely gone. To your point, pushing the south has paid off for Peacekeepers now, and Nardu's on objective.
Nadu's super close right now. He's made his way into the garage, the south side garage. Calls out Wookiee's throwing C4 for an air burst, but it's already too late. Nadu's in cap position. Goes in, takes down. This is going to be a cap. It's going to be a 5-2. But no! Virus, though, not receiving the call out from Nadu that the cap's coming through, taking out James and only getting the 1 point.
It is a point that does lock in the map, though, and you're just gonna take the win. They've already locked in map 1 4-0. Yeah, it really would have been nice to go 5-2 map 2 and then have those extra bit of points on the board, but either way, a very solid push up from Peacekeepers. Some great picks that land them good control of the overall map, and it's just not possible for Mayhem to defend against the push. And that's the series into Peacekeepers' hands pretty easily, truly. I mean, Peacekeepers came to play today.
They were just so dominant. Like, nothing was stopping them. They were so confident in their push and their aggression, as we saw Soda and Virus up on that southern hilltop there, just taking down Defilade and hunting together for Sky Joker, together being the key word, ready to refrag each other, and that's the most important thing on these maps. You've got to take your kills and not risk losing a man for no reason, and that's exactly what Peacekeepers have done all day today. Very well played. They deserve the win, honestly. They did great.
We always play the third map out here in these best of threes. It's important to help us determine just how much a team will go up or down in that ladder that we discussed at the start of the series. And so map number 3 will be Snow Peak, and it still is important for teams to play this out. If Mayhem can come back here and hypothetically lock in a 4-0 on Peacekeeper's map pick of all things, they'd really be able to even the scoreline a good bit there, and when they lose, they will go down less in the ladder. So instead of maybe dipping down to 3rd or 4th, they would go to 2nd from 1st place. And so certainly a purpose here for Mayhem to continue to compete and battle out for this 3rd map, but Peacekeepers either way will go up in rank and Mayhem will go down despite the outcome of this 3rd map. So Peacekeepers got to be feeling good. Such a solid 2 maps from them.
That's right. They were so dominant. I mean, it really separates the good from the best in the 3rd map. Once you've already won, they don't want to take the foot off the throat of Mayhem right now. They want to push forward and hope to get another 4-0 victory here, because just assert their dominance, and that's never let up. I don't want to see Peacekeepers get rolled over here because they've already won. I want to see their best plays. It's it's vital to not slow down because you've already won. You need to keep putting those plays on, demoralize the enemy team is the end goal, from my perspective anyway.
Oh wow, just looking at predictions there. The second map, 72% of the votes going to Mayhem.
Oh, there's going to be some big point wins there.
Some big point wins, but map 3 underway here. As we kick it off, we'll get those predictions up for you so you can try and right the wrongs that so many of you have chosen.
Starting out round number 1 with the Southern Shed objective, we're going to see Mayhem have a very strong defense towards the garage. Skyjoker pushing all the way up inside here, just clearing it out early. I'm guessing just prodding for information so they can focus the defense elsewhere. I'm not sure if Sky wants to go for a full flank or not, but
it's a crazy rotation because they don't even know the spawn, and it's the opposite side of the map. Sky's investing a tremendous amount of time into rotating all the way out here. If his on-objective defense goes down as it is, they are essentially down 2 here. Sky has to crash fast and get back to this objective because Peacekeepers are trying to apply pressure now.
Yeah, it's a very interesting rotation from Sky. Wookie calling out for help on side here. Oh, that was a beautiful shot there by Seaquick onto Potato Bot. I'm not sure if that was an M203 frag or just the Mark 18 in general, but it destroyed him over at those Hesco bags.
You can hear the callouts from Wookie to Sky to get back here, and they're trying to crash. Sky's trying to get here, but Nardu's got an easy cap in his hands. Sky could pump rounds through the wall, maybe catch Nardu out, but no rounds come through. And Nardu, with a very fast cap, locks in a solid 2 points. Peacekeepers are not pausing on their momentum here for map 3. They're looking to lock up this series nicely with a solid third map win. 2-0 lead out the gate.
Yep, exactly. At this point, I have to wonder if that rotation from Sky was planned or it was like an audible called, but that was very odd to see. He was so far off, almost up into the northeast corner of the map. Just way too much time to get back and help his teammates on site who were being strongly aggressed by the west and south spawn from Peacekeepers. Peacekeepers just, once again, foot down on the gas, accelerating straight to a swift victory, it seems.
You know, I think what we can take away from that round is that Mayhem are maybe experimenting with some strats that they're trying. You know, when you think about the third map, that's really a perfect time. Granted, you do want to lock in rounds, but if you're just not able to beat the opponent 2 maps in a row, you start to have to try fresh things, and I think that was maybe a strat they were trying to roll out there. Would have been effective, to your point, if that spawn had been over there, but it was, if anything, an opposite I wouldn't say quick spawn, but the opposite spawn there into that southeast, and they were down, they were into a 4v5 from the start.
Yeah, it was you're right. They could have been trying, just testing out to see if it works. You know, get a defender behind the offense and take them out. It could have been lethal, but high risk, high reward, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, geez, it's just, this series has continued to be Peacekeepers looking good. And I guess to our point, the opposite spawn comes through. This is what that rotation from Sky was about, to defend against this spawn, but it never came.
That's right, they're going to go for a straight down north to south aggression, it seems, as James is leading the way over towards the lake here for Mayhem.
Nice little split, taking control of the tunnel and then control of that middle entryway up. I wonder if they're going to continue to rotate around to that far east side and push up from there to have control of the south, or if they'll just try and come up through the center here as a team. Maybe James will swing out and Potato will come in through the center, but Mayhem now just really setting up. Oh no, and James accidentally shooting his gun.
Bumps the trigger there, gives away the location. I'm sure Soda heard that too. It's one of these objectives that, you know, do you split up and surround the objective, or do you pick two sides and you attack those because you have to assume that, you know, they've dedicated 2 or 3 defenders to watch out for the other spawn? Can you take out a couple and get in quickly like Peacekeepers have? Or surround the whole thing and hope that you can get picks off and constrict. I think this is a very different map to Downfall, as the rotations from one side to the other are so long. It's an interesting concept, I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, especially also because the entryways to these objectives are so big. You know, it's uncharacteristic. Most entryways are doors or tight hallways to objectives, but maps like Downfall and Snow Peak, they just have so much room to work with that you don't necessarily need to attack from every side. And so it seems to be that Mayhem are focusing their efforts through onto this northeast side, and they're going to continue to apply pressure. Seaquake's going to be in a world of hurt soon enough, and Virus is fighting a battle on multiple fronts. There's a long-range nade coming in.
Ooh. Some of these throws are so accurate. It's crazy to see.
I wonder if they all go to the James Boak throwing school, throwing academy.
Two over by me, 100%.
Captain Soda's not quite sure if he should still be watching this west side now. There's been so much aggression to the north and the east that, does he turn his back, or does he keep watching or help his friends? Like, so I think Mayhem have got a good little strategy going on here. Just feint aggression to the opposite side and continue on with your main path.
Yeah, it's Soda actually now dropping off as Seaquick goes down. That's going to even be a bigger gap in coverage there, because Soda maybe will feel confident that, okay, I just confirmed we're looking good over there, the Seaquick's there, and as he drops, he loses that coverage, so maybe a false sense of confidence will come through here, and as they lose Nardu on objective, Soda's the last one alive in a 1v4. Mayhem, maybe they're going to try and go for a cap of their own.
Deflate coming in hot with the tablet out, but James taking the last kill before he can get there. Very good at offense there. I mean, is this objective just really hard to defend, or do you think both teams had this super strategic offense?
I think it's a challenge to defend in that if you do set up for the spawn appropriately, it's easy to counteract, but neither team really shifted off of the spawn information that they got, and that is because they all had the concern that you were voicing, in that, well, they could come from all these different angles. If we're not covering all of them, then there's a potential gap there, and not deciding to reinforce their teammates as they died ultimately lets Peacekeepers or Mayhem take control of that series, or of that round there, and just a good job from their offense. The call there was coming from Potato, we're gonna cap, but then James goes down and they say, oh, I guess we're not, so the cap was certainly on the mind.
Yeah, that's right. Going from that objective though, the wide open entrances on all sides, to this next one in the northeastern warehouse, this is just a complete switch, an opposite tactical defense that you're gonna have to pull out here, right? There's only doorways to get into it, so a complete alteration. I love this map. It's such a wild card. Anything can happen, close range or long range, and we're seeing that right here, back to back.
The box of death, very akin to the cargo diamond of death, has been the objective of choice here today, and yeah, the variety is so what makes Snow Peak a lot of teams' favorites. I think it offers up the choice for range, but then when you get objectives like this, you might as well be playing something like cargo.
I like Peacekeepers' approach here. They've just sent everyone up and around objective straight away, using the outside to move in, as they don't have to check every single tight angle inside the tunnels. It's just, you know, nice long clear sight lines until you get to those objective doorways. So it makes it, they're pretty much on the objective already, and they've still got 5 minutes to play with.
The only concern that they have to have here is for C4, but both Rushers and Virus not identifying anything. I myself not identifying anything, so I don't think any C4 was tossed out here. And if it was, it is well camouflaged. But no real challenge. They know Rushers and Virus are here. And Rushers and Virus a little bit confused why they're not getting any sort of pressure and are just given this for free.
Yeah. Every single one of the Marsoc players posted up in this objective room now. Taking the kill box effect to the next level.
54.
Until 3 launch comes in. Rushers gets team shot there, but doesn't die.
Oh, there's some C4.
Yikes. Actually, a nade tossed out there onto Virus. The smoke comes in, allows the res to come through. A great shot from Virus through the smoke. Finds one. That would have been both of them dead, but instead, it's all 4 entryways looking good. Nardu's gonna challenge. He's inside. Finds a double, looks for 3. Wookiee ducks those shots and now has to defend against a barrage of Peacekeepers, and the peace is kept. Another round into their hands, up 3-1 here on map 3.
Oh, it's such a chaotic 30 seconds when the breach happens on this objective.
Yeah.
I really feel like at least a little bit of outside control is necessary, because once stuff starts happening in these doorways, you know, you're focusing on one doorway, there's people breaching behind you, you turn around, so there's people breaching in the one you were just looking at. It's just so much chaos.
Yeah.
And I feel chaos always benefits the Marsoc side on this objective.
Yeah, it's a very serious gamble when you don't have any threat out there, presence outside of those doors, where you can. You know, you do see oftentimes teams investing in defending the hallways and applying C4 to certain positions, but maybe Mayhem just not really looking to give away any strats after already losing the series, and we're just going to take this loss. But I don't know. We'll see how they attack. Curious to see what Peacekeepers do for the setup themselves, and if they do prioritize any sort of outside defensive setup, or they're just going to go for a similar tight hold.
Yeah. It's
Where the fuck did the clacker go?
it's good to see Peacekeepers aren't letting up, like I was saying earlier. Their foot's on the floor. They got the pedal to the metal with this one. All night they have. It's very impressive to watch.
So is this illegal?
I wouldn't do it just in case.
I don't think it
I
is,
just
but
walked
yeah.
up onto it.
Peacekeepers feeling pretty good. Light convos. Mayhem going for the long rotation. The split there, 3-2. They do get that
I hope that's on stream.
far spawn back,
That's
but
crazy. My heart hurts. Now I have to get a killer follower. A Dylan.
That was so
They're just
fucking
using
random.
the outside lanes to approach objective.
What's the worst dude's name? I
It's
got-
easier to check the angles. There's less angles to worry about. Oh no! What happened there?
I think he went outside and he didn't know that he went outside and was not expecting to spot anybody but an enemy out there, and down one goes for Peacekeepers.
I can't wait to see Mayhem's reaction as they approach this western doorway and just see a dead body on the floor. Hey, did you guys kill him?
Maybe they'll shoot it themselves. There's been the old fake a dead body strat in the past.
Oh, that's true.
You know what? It would take, you know, it'd be like the fumble Rooski, but if you, in the chaos, you shot your own, pretended to shoot your own teammate, like, oh no, I just team killed someone, and then that teammate pretended to be dead, and then the team comes in thinking that they've killed everybody, but your one teammate is dead, and then pops up and surprises everybody. It would take so much luck, truly, because most players are coming in confirming everything they see on the ground as they charge through, but
Definitely. He's about to run into that body.
Come in peace.
He's like, wait a second.
and you did you notice he did shoot it also? So
Yeah.
just being wary of that potential fake out. A little bit of chaos going on. C4 detonated. 1-for-1s in the doorways puts us into a 3-3, and we're going to keep our attention here onto Defilade, and eventually James making his entry onto Seaquick.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like Seaquick's exterior position here in this southern tunnel. Possibly catching someone who's not going to expect that angle.
I mean, it is a very nice little slice that he's looking through there, and in between the pipes to ID if anyone's pushing up through that hallway, and so a good spot. But the problem is because they're down to 3, he's got to cover 2 doorways. Now he's got to worry about 3 doorways. Ardu also dropping back to get better coverage himself.
Flash coming out from Sky Joker. I'm pretty sure that connected with Nadu as he's popped a squat straight in the middle of the site.
My door.
Just a bit of scrambling coming in. Nardu running about here, maybe hearing Sky on the other side. And as he shifts, Defilade tries to catch him out. Defilade tries to make a brief spurt in there. ID's Seaquick, and the 3-2 is certainly the challenge here for both Nardu and Seaquick to hold from, but they're doing pretty good for now.
Oh, 1 versus 2 now as the trade goes out between James and Seaquick, and Sky Joker and Defilade pincer straight onto Nadu there, collapsing perfectly at the right time. Some good offense from Mayhem. Unfortunately for that team kill at the start, leaving them a man down on the death box objective, as you proclaimed.
I wouldn't say it was a free round, but certainly made easier by the likes of Peacekeepers there, picking off one of their own. And we do now shift to a different style of objective, back to that south side of the map, this time in the east corner. And this objective itself is a variety objective. Once you get inside the courtyard, it becomes a very interesting close quarters battle. But until that happens, it is a lot of long-range hunting and, you know, I would say a sniper's playground, really.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting angles. Like in my last cast with Trip, we were talking about how great it is to see the players leapfrogging across from iceberg to iceberg on the lake, from the north to the south. And yeah, it's once you're inside this compound, it is very cargo-ish. It's like a spacious cargo, but then on the outside, it's long range once more. You can be shot from the other side of this map as soon as you leave that little HESCO barrier. It's very, very interesting objective. I really love this map.
Oh, that's a good idea. Is there a chicken place near me?
Is there a chicken place?
We see an eastern garage spawn for Peacekeepers. They're going to have a quick south approach, but it's going to take a minute or so to get around to the north side if they fancy.
Oh, they don't fancy. Looking at the mini map, it's everyone stacked up, pushing out from that south side. From there, they're doing a bit of spread, but it is going to be a heavy push coming in from that southwest corner. You have to worry about the other spawn, which is really them entering in from the lake, and so you do see on the overhead 2 invested over into that lake side. But now that they've ID'd these shots early, it should give them information that the spawn was on this west side, and maybe they can afford to relocate some resources to defend it.
I like Wookie's ambush position over here on the far southwest corner.
Yeah, it's a nice late angle. Set up to wait for the cross. Once the player is fully exposed, that's when he'll take those shots, and so gonna require a quick snapshot to get the trade, or at least pick him off. So yeah, it is a solid hold. The problem is, though, it is pretty far away from objective. So if the lakeside push finds much success, which there is one over there. I think it's Rushers. Yeah, it is. And Seaquick, both. Seaquick in particular, pretty close to applying some pressure onto Potato Bot and potentially swinging up from that lake side. There's a little ridge line to run up there. Nardu getting really aggressive, way ahead of his team, trying to push in and getting shut down by Potato Bot does give information to the offense to work with.
Yeah, Rushers and Seaquick closing in on Potato now. His potato senses would be tingling right about now. Oh, if he backs up just a little too far here, Rushers is going to catch him.
Potato senses, huh? What do those even entitle?
I think that's a story for another day.
Well,
as they don't pay off for him now.
Yeah,
Rushers.
they weren't tingling. They weren't doing what they were supposed to do. Well, maybe they were. I don't know what potato senses do. So maybe they were acting in full effect, and down he goes. But either way, Peacekeepers now evening the odds just a touch. As I say that, definitely catches out Rushers. He's taking a very aggressive position over there on the lake side. It does open up a gap in coverage for Seaquick to work with, and Seaquick can never finish picking through his enemy's kit. He'll be able to apply some pressure there onto Deflate and the like.
Virus is very good at his pre-fires and suppression. He doesn't necessarily need to see anybody. He just starts shooting to clear out an angle for his teammates and then calls it that it's clear straight afterwards. It's very effective.
Seaquick's got a gap here. Seaquick can push up to the objective. I think he's going to look for Defilade first. He is going to find that kill. Mayhem is getting picked off here. They do recognize the weakness. Sky decides to rotate back. Wookie catches out Captain Soda trying to push in. And wow, just so aware. The comms, watch out for Seaquick. He's suppressed, trying to sneak up on objective. And Sky doesn't get the trade. Seaquick continues to pick this Mayhem offense or defense apart.
That rotate from Wookie that you were talking about earlier comes into effect. He has a long way to run straight through the open, which reveals his location, giving Peacekeepers the 3-0 map win against Mayhem. That was a massive underdog win today for all of you connoisseurs out there. I'm sorry to say, but most of you lost out on this one.
Yeah, a lot of people in chat did win, though. A big loss on map 2 there, but I suppose maybe not a lot of people winning a lot here. But either way, a solid bit of gameplay from Peacekeepers in particular today. I mean, really just outperforming Mayhem, and maybe Mayhem experiencing a little bit of the pains of losing a long-standing teammate like Theta, but I didn't anticipate it to impact them very much, and could have very well been also just an off day for Mayhem. It is what it looked like, just a touch out of sync, not necessarily that coordination that you would expect from them. And maybe it was just Peacekeepers shutting it down. I don't know. Either way, it was a solid series here from Peacekeepers to get them 12-4 W there, a 3-0 map win. And Etch, any final thoughts on this series today?
Hutcho, but no.
I was reading chat. I guess shout out to chat because I'm reading you, and I saw Etch in there empty, a bunch of folks chatting it up. Hutch, geez, what are your final thoughts here? Etch, too, if you want to give them in chat. What are yours also?
Yeah, Etch, what do you reckon in chat? And my thoughts, I think that Peacekeepers came to play. I think they came wanting revenge for the last two matchups they've had against Mayhem. And they showed us what they can do, what they're capable of, which is be a very, very dominant side. I think the map 1 pick of Shipyard played into their hands very well and set the momentum and the tone for the rest of the series. Mayhem, like you said, could be experiencing some loss issues with Theta. He was a very analytical and strategic guy, that's for sure. But yeah, also could just be having that bad day. It happens to everyone, happens to the best of us. But yeah, possibly momentum hurts to play against. You lose 4 rounds in a row, and then you lose your own map pick, and it's like, oh dear, like back to the drawing board, boys. Let's go. They'll have lots to talk about after this stream tonight when they're watching back on it, and I hope everybody enjoyed the entertainment. It was exhilarating to watch the two best teams at play, I will say, and I can't wait to see them go at it again next time.
Yeah, a solid series, and appreciation to everyone again for tuning in. Shout out to everyone hanging out on Twitch. If you haven't hit that follow button, please do. We are pretty close to pushing up to 3,000 followers. We've been steadily climbing over the last week or so, and we're only 55 followers away from 3,000. So a milestone that we'll be celebrating, and I'm pretty excited to hit, and we will hit it in just a few days because there has been a ton of new folks coming in. So just a quick reminder to hit that follow button if you haven't. I just resubscribed for 34 months, and so if you have a Twitch Prime available, feel free to drop a subscription. You can throw around the emotes that the onward thinking emote. You can be representing Dante in chat itself. As we continue to get more subs, hopefully we can continue to get more emotes as well, so more of those to come. And all of that support goes back to the casters and the production team that help bring you these high quality broadcasts. With that, we will be signing off. My name is Ben, NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster Hutcho. We will see you all tomorrow for a Friday night matchup. Be sure to tune in then and catch that one live. We also have a Saturday afternoon venues cast and a Sunday night venues cast lined up as well. So there's at least going to be 4 high-quality games brought to you by me this week. I'm sure there'll be others picked up by the casting team as well. And so a lot of onward action to tune into, to say the least. But that'll be it from us. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you next time, guys.